Guys, welcome back to the channel. Good to have you all here and I hope you're all doing well. For anyone new to the channel, welcome. I'm Cal. I'm here to educate you all on your basic legal rights, which no one else seems to be doing right now. And today I'm talking about unpaid wages. I'm going to help any of you out there who are not being given what you are owed. So let's begin and let's get people paid. So if you're watching this, chances are you or someone you know hasn't been paid what they're owed, and you're not alone. Unpaid wages are a huge epidemic, really, and it needs to be addressed. Research tells us now that employers withhold around £3 billion in wages every year in the UK. £3 billion. 1 in every 12 workers each year experience not being paid wages or holiday pay that they are due. This is not okay, and I do not want you to just become another statistic. I don't want you just to give up and concede. So let me make one thing very plain to you all now. You deserve to get paid. If you worked for that money, you deserve that money, so don't give up. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step the best process you can take to force your employer's hand and get the money that you've earned. We'll cover your legal rights and the practical steps all the way from strategic and informal conversations with your boss all the way through to legal action if needed. And as always, I'm going to do it all in just 8 minutes, so let's go. Quick one before we begin, guys. I will never ever ask you at any point to hit my subscribe button. Only that you give me the opportunity to earn it from you with the content that I've made for you. So if at any point in this video you feel like you've learned or liked or taken anything of value from it, then please feel free to do so. All right, then we first need to look quickly at the law. What is the law? Let me explain this very quickly, very simply. Under the Employment Rights Act, your employer must pay your wages on the agreed payday. Not paying wages you're owed counts as unauthorized deduction of wages, which is unlawful. In plain English, if you did the work, you have the right to the pay. If your employer doesn't pay, they are in breach of contract. And that law applies to employees and most workers, including agency staff as well, not just full-time employees. Even if you're labeled self-employed but working under direction, you might still qualify. So that is the law, guys. Those are your legal rights. Do not forget them. Now, let's get straight to why you are here. Here is what I believe to be the best step-by-step procedure to challenge your employer and win. Now, the first step must be the informal one, talking to your employer. So start with a conversation, as scary as it may be to some of you, and of course most of you I know will have already tried this or dismissed the idea of this, but this is the first step. Approach your manager or your HR or payroll team and politely explain the situation. Maybe it is a mistake, a clerical error, for example, banking issue, or someone made an error on a timesheet, for example. Say something like, I notice I've not received my pay during X period. I believe I'm owed X. Can you look into this for me? Also, bring documentation. This is important, guys. Bring payslips, contracts, timesheets, and then follow up after your conversation with an email summarizing that conversation to create a paper trail. Always follow up with a paper trail of your conversation. That way your conversation can never be denied, which happens. If your employer gets defensive or makes excuses or ignores you, that's fine. Let them do that. It's time to escalate. Now, part of step one is also to document everything, okay? If they are ignoring you or making excuses, this is the time to start gathering evidence. That's when you need to start gathering evidence, when you suspect some kind of foul play. Document everything. Be meticulous. Be organized. It will show them that you mean business. Get a diarized record of dates and times that you worked, photographs if you can, contracts, anything else that supports your claim. Gather it and organize it. This documentation will be crucial if you need to then escalate your complaint. Now, speaking of escalation, the second step is to raise a formal grievance. Now, if talking fails, if informal action fails, submit a formal grievance. Now, most employers have a grievance process in your employee handbook or in your contract. You will have received these when you started your job, right? Even if they don't have formal grievance procedures, which I very much doubt, then just send an email or a letter. Make sure it's a recorded delivery if it's a letter, so you've got a paper trail. Right, so here's your action then. State in your formal grievance. Number one, what period of pay was missed or underpaid. Number two, how much you believe you're owed. Attach evidence of why you are owed that money. Like I said, all that evidence before, contracts, payslips, timesheets, etc. Number four, set a clear deadline, e.g. 7 days. Number five, keep the tone professional and factual at this point. Despite your impulses, they are far more likely to get the outcome you desire if you remain, as I like to say, firm but polite. Send this grievance via email or post or whatever your formal grievance procedure states. Now, I know that many of you probably already try those things, but they are and must always be your first steps. Now, I know that many of your employers are still standing firm and being stubborn and not paying you, okay? I get that. they're probably expecting you to back down, and many people do, but that should not be you. They are your wages, they belong to you legally. So don't stop here, pull your sleeves up and move on to step 3. So step 3, ACAS, early conciliation. You probably already heard of this service. If a grievance gets you nowhere, if your formal grievance gets you nowhere, my next recommendation is then to contact ACAS. This is a compulsory step before you can go to tribunal, which is another word for court. So do not skip this step. The Advisory Conciliation and Arbitration Service, it's called. It offers free and impartial advice on all workplace disputes. That's what it's designed to do. And it can guide you on your best rights and your best course of action, okay? Now, ACAS also offers a free early conciliation service, which helps you and your employer resolve disputes without going to a tribunal. It's really easy, it's really straightforward and highly recommended, and I've provided a link to that ACAS service in the description below. What this will involve is a neutral mediator. So a neutral mediator will sit down with the parties and try and help them both agree a solution without going to tribunal. So what is your action in this step then? You'll submit an online form to ACAS. Now ACAS then contacts your employer and then tries to resolve things for you. It's free, like I said, and usually very quick. Many employers settle here to avoid the risk of tribunal. But if conciliation fails or the employer just doesn't respond still, ACAS will give you a certificate. You'll then need this certificate to move forward to tribunal. Now, at this point, guys, if the ACAS conciliation fails or if they side with your employer, you'll need to make a judgment call here. Why has it failed? Why has ACAS been unable to resolve this for you? Reevaluate the merits of your case if you need to, but if you are still certain or you suspect serious foul play, fraud, or false evidence on behalf of your employer, then absolutely do keep going. So tribunal is your next step, and hopefully where you will find your justice. Okay, so tribunal. Now you can file a claim for the tribunal using the forms, again, that I've linked in the description below. But here's a warning. You must start the tribunal process within 3 months of the day from when those wages were due, those unpaid wages. And for a series of underpayments, if there's been many of them, the clock runs from the most recent incident, okay? Now you can use the form ET1 to make your claim. It's free to file and really straightforward, and I've linked it again in the description below. If your employer doesn't respond, you might win by default, but this, to be honest with you, most likely will not happen. If they do respond, there will be a hearing. Now, the hearing is really straightforward. It's not like most courtrooms, and the judge really is just there to look at the facts and the evidence and make a decision fairly quickly. At the hearing, you'll present your documents, all the evidence I've told you to gather and organize carefully and explain what you are owed. Now, you can do this yourself or with a legal representative. But guys, if you win at tribunal, here's what the tribunal can do. It can order your employer to pay you your wages. If they still don't pay, the court can enforce it. You can use county court enforcement. You can basically apply to the court to enforce your court order, and that might include things like bailiffs. Again, guys, don't be afraid of this step. Tribunals are less formal than regular courts, okay? And many claims settle way before that. But all that being said, it would be prudent for me to warn you, at least, of the realities of this process, which is that it may well affect your workplace relations, okay? Especially with your employer or your management or HR. But remember, and this is crucially important, guys, it is illegal for your employer to retaliate against you for raising your grievance. Some people don't realize that. It is illegal for them to retaliate. Some employers do try it, but it is illegal. Many of you will be worrying about being dismissed or being forced out. Well, let me make this very clear. That is wrongful dismissal. And even if you are forced to leave your job due to your employer's actions, due to them retaliating to your complaints, and that could be constructive dismissal, which is also illegal. And I've done a short video on both constructive and wrongful dismissal. It's only a short video, very concise on what to do about it. See the video here and link down again in the description. If your employer goes bust or insolvent, don't worry, you can still claim for your unpaid wages, guys. You just have to claim from the National Insolvency Service instead. And that's it, guys. I know it's stressful, but you are not powerless in this situation. People succeed in claiming against their employers all the time. Most employers don't want the hassle and will pay out once they see that you know you're right. Look, guys, I really want to hear from you on this topic. I want to know your stories and your experiences with employers who have denied you or withheld your wages. Have you tried this process? How did it go? Did anything go wrong? Do you have any tips for anyone else watching? Let's get a discussion going down in the comments so we can all help each other out. And remember, finally, this content is educational only. It is not a substitute for for personalised legal advice. That said, I'll see you in the next video.